So we are going to invite Dr. Shoyoung Park. She is on Zoom now to share on e-health literacy and associated factors among Korean adults, 3 age group differences. So Dr. Park is a research fellow at Ewha Institute for Age Integration Research at Ewha Women's University. So Dr. Park, please.
Okay, so I'm going to start. My name is Soyoung Park, a research fellow at Ewha Women's University in South Korea. Today, I'm going to present my research entitled E-Health Literacy and Associated Factors Among Korean Adults, 3 Age Group Differences. I collaborated with Professor Jung for this paper. So this is the agenda of my presentation. And for background. So I would like to mention the changes in demographic trends in South Korea. According to Statistics Korea, the proportion of people aged 65 and older was 17.5% in 2022. This proportion would increase to about 34% in 2040 and over 46% in 2070. So we can find the gap between the world and South Korea is expected to grow as time goes by. So according to the report on the digital divide, older adults had the lowest digital literacy among the underrepresented in South Korea. The figure on the right shows that older adults had a lower digital literacy, especially the level of digital literacy among people in their 70s and older was below 50%. Due to the advanced technology, health has been closely related to the availability, accessibility, and appropriateness of health information. In general, health literacy refers to skills and competencies enabling people to obtain and interpret health information and apply knowledge to inform health-related decision-making. E-health literacy means the ability to search, locate, and evaluate health information from electronic resources to address or solve health problems. And it consists of 6 components, including traditional, media, information, computer, scientific, and health. This figure shows that the importance of e-health literacy has been accelerated in the COVID-19 context. For example, since the COVID-19 pandemic, different kinds of services such as ordering food, medication, and other supplies have been provided through online platforms. The problem is that the increasing reliance on e-health information and technology due to the COVID-19 pandemic may pose a threat to people who are the most vulnerable, such as the elderly. A number of factors are associated with e-health literacy. In terms of health information, internet use, social media, and electronic devices are critical, along with the user's attitude towards the use of online resources. Also, previous research has reported the importance of social relationships on e-health literacy to access and understand health information among people with chronic illness, as well as general population. Several studies suggest that e-health literacy can be influenced by psychological status, including depression, insomnia, PTSD, and anxiety. Socio-demographic characteristics are also associated with e-health literacy. So the purpose of the study was to explore the associations among health information, social relationships, psychological status, and e-health literacy. Specifically, we examined whether the mean scores of main variables would differ among younger, middle-aged, and older Korean adults. We also investigated the moderating effect of age on the association between health information and e-health literacy. This is a research model of our study. The model implies that e-health literacy is associated with health information, social relationships, and psychological status. That age moderates the association between health information and e-health literacy. This study used a cross-sectional survey on Seoul city residents, and the survey was conducted from October to November 2020. Target population was a subsample of 1,000 younger adults, 1,002 middle-aged adults, and 398 older adults living in Seoul. We recruited younger and middle-aged adults online and older adults through in-person surveys. As an outcome variable, we used the e-health literacy scale developed by Norman and Skinner. The 8-item scale measures individuals' knowledge of health information resources on the internet. Health information was one of the main predictors in this study, and it used the sources of health information and the perception on internet health information. So higher scores reflected the respondents who were more likely use the internet news or SNS and to perceive the importance of internet access to health information. To measure social relationships, we used social connectedness and social support scales. Social connectedness is an 8-item measure with a 5-point Likert response, and social support is composed of 6 items with a 5-point Likert response. To assess psychological status during the COVID-19 pandemic, we used GAD-7 and CSD-10. And all the measures used in the study showed good reliability scores. And age was a moderating variable, and there were several control variables. And it used multiple statistical strategies, including hierarchical multiple linear regression, and SPSS was used for all data analysis. So let's move on to the results. This table presents the general characteristics of the total sample and 3 age groups. Respondents' mean age was about 50 years old, and females comprised nearly 52%, and about 6% of the respondents were married, and most respondents lived with at least one family member. Most respondents had a high school or a higher level of education, and approximately 2/3 of the respondents had a monthly household income of less than $3,000. About 87% of the respondents reported that they had fair or good health status. So these are the correlations, and e-health literacy was correlated with the sources of health information, perception on internet health information, and social support, and COVID-19 related anxiety. This table presents the mean scores of major variables and group mean comparisons for these variables. So there are statistically significant age group differences in the mean scores of all major variables except COVID-19 related anxiety. The mean scores of health information, to both health information variables, social support, and e-health literacy were lower in the older group than the other two groups. On the contrary, the younger group showed the lowest score of social connectedness and the highest score of depressive symptoms among the groups. This table presents the results of a hierarchical multiple regression when the reference group was a younger group. Findings indicate the moderating effect of age on the association between sources of health information and e-health literacy. So in other words, the sources of health information had a more positive moderating effect on e-health literacy in the older group than the younger group. So this table shows the results when the reference group was changed to as the middle-aged group. And the results are very similar to the previous slide, so I'm not gonna explain further. So this figure confirms the moderating effect of age on the association between sources of health information and e-health literacy. The level of sources of health information for older adults was much lower than those for the other age groups. In other words, the older group had a greater positive e-health literacy than their younger counterparts if they could frequently use either internet news or SNS as sources of health information on COVID-19. Okay, this is the final segment of my presentation. So this is the summary of the results. So I'm going to skip this one. And the findings of this study emphasize the importance of health information and e-health literacy. So in fact, health information use and skills are positively associated with e-health literacy. But since the COVID-19 pandemic, false and misleading health information has been a threat to the public. Also, this study confirmed informal social networks can be helpful for the vulnerable, such as older adults, to increase e-health literacy, thereby eliminating health disparities. Finally, in terms of the association between mental health and e-health literacy, COVID-19-related anxiety may have a positive impact of obtaining health information online, which contribute to increasing e-health literacy in the future. This study has limitations with regards to the use of cross-sectional survey data and unequal group sizes. Despite the limitations, the present study provides new perspectives to understand the influencing factors of e-health literacy on Korean adults by age groups. For future research, we suggest developing age-friendly e-health literacy education and identifying other potential risk factors of e-health literacy at individual, family, and societal levels during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. So these are the references I used, and I think that's it from me. Thank you so much for your time and attention. So do you have any questions or comments?
To raise the questions. For audience on site, you can use the microphone in front of you. For those who are on Zoom, please feel free to type your questions in the chat room. Any questions from the floor? So I have a question for Dr. Park. So
Okay.
I wonder if there's any policies in Korea that is aiming to boost the e-health literacy among older adults for, different age groups?
I think there is some kind of like education or some program or services available at the public and private sectors. For example, kind of like how to use digital gadgets, like how to use the internet and smartphones. But I don't think that there is no such kind of a public measures or public or private level education programs to boost the e-health as kind of a literacy or the health literacy. So I think they might be available, but I don't think there are not so many kind of information available, and then I don't think there is not so many services or educations available.
I see. Thank you, Dr. Park.